My wife ditched our anniversary to spend the night with her secret lover, then claimed I was the problem. So, I exposed her lies and fought back against her cruel games. I'm 34, and I've been married to my wife, who's 31, for 7 years. Marriage has had its ups and downs like anyone else's, but lately, it's felt like we've been living more like roommates than a couple. She's been pulling away for a while, always out with her friends, barely around on weekends, and when she is home, she's glued to her phone or too tired to talk. I tried not to think too much of it, chalking it up to life getting busy, but things started adding up over time. Our anniversary was coming up, and I asked her what she wanted to do. Usually we'd make a weekend of it, a nice dinner, maybe a little trip. This year, she didn't seem interested. I've got plans with friends that night, she said casually, like it was no big deal. We can do something later in the week. I stared at her, waiting for her to laugh or say she was joking, but nothing. I asked her if she realized how messed up it was to ditch me for our anniversary, and she just shrugged it off. It's not like we need to celebrate every year. It's just another day. I didn't know what to say. It wasn't just the fact that she wanted to go out with her friends. It was the way she didn't seem to care at all. I dropped it because I didn't want to fight, but it stayed in the back of my mind. The night of our anniversary, she got ready like she was going to some gala. Full makeup, a tight dress, heels, the works. She barely even looked at me before she left, muttering something about not being out too late. The house felt empty as hell after she left. I tried to distract myself with TV, but it wasn't working. Around 10 p.m., I opened Instagram out of boredom. A mutual friend had posted a story from the bar they were at, and there was my wife, laughing and leaning into some guy I didn't recognize. It wasn't just a friendly laugh either. She was touching his arm. Her whole body language was off. I couldn't stop watching the clip. When she got home around 1 a.m., I was waiting. She looked surprised to see me still up. "What's with the late-night vigil?" she joked, kicking off her shoes. "How was the party?" I asked. "Fine. Just the usual." "Why?" I pulled out my phone and showed her the video. "Who's the guy?" She stared at the screen for a moment before looking back at me. "Seriously? You're spying on me now? It's public. Answer the question." She rolled her eyes and walked past me. "He's just a friend. Don't be so dramatic." "That's not how you act with a friend," I said, following her. "You've been distant for months, and now you're skipping our anniversary to hang out with some guy? What the hell is going on?" She turned around, annoyed. "You're overthinking this. I'm allowed to have friends. You need to chill." She went to bed, leaving me stewing in the living room. I knew she wasn't telling the whole truth, but I didn't know how to get it out of her. It wasn't just this one thing either. Over the past year, there had been little cracks in the marriage that I'd ignored. Like the time I found out she had a secret bank account. I only discovered it because we were doing taxes together, and I noticed her account listed in the documents. When I asked her about it, she got defensive and said, "Every woman needs a backup plan. Just in case." I remember feeling blindsided, but she brushed it off like it was normal. I let it go because I didn't want to make a big deal out of it, but now it was starting to feel like a pattern. Then there was her 30th birthday party. She wanted this over-the-top celebration, private venue, catered food, the whole 9 yards. When I suggested something smaller to save money, she flipped out. "It's my milestone birthday. I deserve something special." I ended up shelling out way more than I was comfortable with, and she still acted like I didn't do enough. And let's not forget the time I got promoted. It was a huge step in my career, but it came with longer hours. Instead of being happy for me, she accused me of prioritizing work over her. "If you really loved me, you'd turn it down," she said. Meanwhile, she was out with her friends 3 or 4 nights a week. All of it started coming back to me as I sat there that night. It wasn't just one thing, it was a pattern. A few days later, I decided to check her phone while she was in the shower. I know it's not the most ethical thing to do, but at that point, I needed answers. Her phone buzzed with a message preview while I was holding it. "Last night was amazing. Can't wait to see you again." I opened the message thread and my stomach dropped. It was from Brian, the guy from the video. Their texts were explicit. They talked about meeting at hotels, sneaking around, and even making plans for the future. I took screenshots of everything and emailed them to myself. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with them yet, but I wanted to make sure I had proof. That night, I sat her down and told her we needed to talk. She looked irritated, like I was wasting her time. "What now?" she asked, crossing her arms. I handed her my phone with the screenshots. "Care to explain?" Her face went pale, but she recovered quickly. "You went through my phone. Are you serious right now?" "Don't turn this around on me," I said. "I want the truth. How long has this been going on?" She sighed and rolled her eyes. "Does it matter? You've been checked out of this marriage for years. Maybe if you paid more attention to me, I wouldn't have needed Brian." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "Needed Brian? You cheated because you felt neglected? Do you even hear yourself?" She stood up, arms flailing. "Oh, spare me the lecture. You're not some perfect husband. You work all the time, you barely notice me anymore, and when you do, it's just to criticize. I deserve to be happy." I just stared at her. "So your solution was to lie, cheat, and treat me like an idiot? That's your idea of happiness?" She didn't answer, just walked away and slammed the bedroom door. The next morning, I didn't wait for her to bring it up. I told her flat out that I was done. "This marriage is over. I'm contacting a lawyer today." She acted like she didn't believe me at first. "Oh, come on. Don't be so dramatic. We can work through this. People make mistakes." I laughed bitterly. This wasn't a mistake. This was months of lies and betrayal. "I'm not sticking around to be your backup plan while you play house with Brian." That's when she flipped. "You're not leaving me with nothing. I've sacrificed years of my life for you." "Sacrificed?" I repeated. "You've spent the last year partying, lying, and spending my money. Don't pretend you've been a martyr." She kept going, though. "If you think you're walking away with everything, you're insane. I'll fight you for every penny." And she wasn't bluffing. Over the next few weeks, she made things as difficult as possible. She refused to cooperate with the lawyer I hired, claiming I was being vindictive by even filing for divorce. She threatened to drag things out in court unless I gave her what she deserved. At one point, she even tried to get mutual friends involved, spinning a sob story about how I was abandoning her because she made one mistake. One of her friends actually called me, saying, "Don't you think you're being a little harsh?" She clearly regrets what happened. I told her friend to stay out of it, and when word got back to my wife, she lost it. She accused me of trying to isolate her and turn people against her. Then came the pettiness. She sabotaged the sale of our house by refusing to clean up for showings and making rude comments to potential buyers. When I moved into a temporary apartment, she kept texting me random demands, like asking for money to cover spa days or new clothes. "You owe me," she'd say. I ignored her most of the time, but when she insisted I buy her a new car because the divorce stress had made her current one feel unreliable, I snapped. "You have a job. Use your own money." "You're such a selfish asshole," she replied. "I don't know why I stayed with you as long as I did." Her entitlement didn't stop there. She even tried to claim my dog as hers. I'd had Max for years before we got married, and she barely even liked him. But once the divorce started, she suddenly decided he was our dog. I had to provide proof of his adoption papers to shut that down. One of the lowest points came when she ambushed me at her sister's house. She invited me over, saying we needed to discuss logistics, but when I got there, it was an intervention. Her friends and family were all there, and she stood up, playing the victim. "I just want him to forgive me," she said dramatically. "I don't know why he's being so cold." One of her friends turned to me and said, "You're really going to throw away a marriage over one bad choice?" She's trying to make it right. I pulled out my phone and showed everyone the texts between her and Brian. The room went silent. Her sister looked horrified, but her friends just shuffled awkwardly. My wife stormed out, yelling, "You're such a vindictive bastard. How dare you humiliate me like this?" I stood my ground. "Humiliate you? You did this to yourself." After that, she finally started to back off. I think she realized her usual tricks weren't working anymore. The divorce dragged on for months, but I kept pushing forward, refusing to give in to her demands. When it was finally over, I felt a mix of relief and exhaustion. She got less than she'd hoped for, and I walked away with my sanity intact. Looking back, the signs were always there. The secret bank account, the over-the-top demands, the way she always blamed me for her unhappiness. It was all part of a pattern. I'd just been too blind or too hopeful to see it. Now I'm focused on moving on. The house is sold, the divorce is finalized, and I've got Max by my side. She's someone else's problem now. If there's one thing I've learned, it's this: don't ignore the red flags. They're there for a reason.